Hey guys, this is Gal of Kakao Academy, and today we're talking about window sliding technique demonstration. So before we move on with the window sliding technique, let's try to break down one of the exercises using nested loops to later see the difference between two approaches. So our question today says, given an array of integer of size n, calculate the maximum sum of k consecutive elements in the array. Right, so we have an example. Let's say we have a given array with 4 elements, 100, 200, 300, 400. It says that size of the block is 2 elements. So basically we say block number 1 would be 100, 200. Block number 2 would be 200, 300. Block number 3 would be 300, 400. Okay. So we calculate sum of each of the blocks, sum of elements in each of the blocks, and then we compare which one is the max sum, and the output is 700. So this one, 300 plus 400. Okay, so before we move on, it's also important to mention that we're gonna work with a number of blocks for a given array, and the formula for this would be array size minus k, or block size plus 1. Okay, let's go. So first let's introduce our max sum int and say it's integer minimum value. Okay, so basically we would not be able to go below it, and even if our one of our blocks has a negative value, it still be higher than minimum value. Okay, now we can start parsing for int b equals 0. So as we said, b less than my array length minus block size plus 1, b plus plus. Okay, here we're going to introduce block maximum int block maximum equals 0. Here we can use 0, no problem. And now let's traverse through elements within the block. For that we say int element equals 0, element less than block size, element plus plus. I hope this makes sense, right? So basically we're saying that instead of traversing through the whole array, we only want to take elements relevant to a specific block. So here we say block max, add my array b plus e. Okay, so once we calculated the maximum of a particular block, we say that if block max is more than max sum, whoops, forgot parentheses, max is more than block sum, max sum, then max sum becomes block max, and so on until we are done with all the elements, and then we return max sum in the following manner. Okay, let's try to run our code and see if it works. Yep, it works. Alright, so this is the way we use nested loops to achieve a result. That said, this solution is considered to be inefficient, and usually your examiner, interviewer, or whatever would tell you that there should be an optimized way to deal with such exercises, and that's where window sliding technique comes in place. So before we start coding, let's revisit the window sliding technique concept first. So let's say we have an array with the following numbers or integers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I went ahead and created a certain output, which I'm about to explain. So as we know, the sum of first block would be 1 and 2 equals 3. So how can we calculate the sum of the second block? What we can do, instead of parsing again and again, we can say that the sum of this block is equals 3. So to find the sum of this block, the following block, all we have to do is to say goodbye to 1 and to say hello to 3. So we say 3 minus 1 plus 3 equals 5. So we know that we have 5 here, and we also have a shared element 3. So again, we say goodbye to 2, and we say hello to 4, basically by doing 5 minus 2 plus 4, and we got 7. So and so on and so on and so on. Basically, by using sum of the previous elements of a previous block and substituting first element of a previous block and adding second element of current block, we can find the sum of a current block. And this helps us to avoid using nested loop. And by having these sums, we can also compare which sum is actually the max. So for example, I say that if 5 more than 3, then max is 5. So let's go ahead and start coding this, the solution using this principle. Alright guys, let's start coding. And first of all, let's find a sum of the first block. So given we don't know what the first block is, because it might vary based on the k value here, we're gonna say and since it's a first block, it can also be a max, our current max. So we say int max sum equals 0, and we can say that for int element equals 0, element less than block size, right? So we say from 0 until we reach the point where it's a limit of a first block size element plus plus max sum add element. Okay, let's test this one real quick. Just to see that it does what I'm expecting it to do. 1. Ooh. Yes. My array element, and now 300, right? So we say 100 plus 200 gives us 300. Okay, now it's time to move on. So here we say that block sum would be max sum, right? So each block, so the first one starts from this. Then we say for And here comes an interesting part. So since we already took these two elements into account, we're gonna start our count from an first element of the next block. And what it would be? It would be the block size integer. So we say int element equals block size and element less than my array.length, right? So we're gonna take it from here and all the way until it reaches the length of an array, element plus plus, and here we start parsing. So we say block sum. So we know that our second block sum would be the sum of the first block, right? So we do plus the sum of the first block plus current element minus current element minus block size to go back to down to the first element of a previous block. Okay, and here comes our if statement. If block sum is more than max sum, then max sum equals block sum. Okay, let's try our solution. 700. Just double checking. 300 plus 400, 700. All right. So this is the technique called window sliding. I hope this was interesting and did make sense to you guys. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe. Stay safe. Bye bye.